You're scrolling through cruise deals, and suddenly you spot it. MSC. 7 nights, a balcony cabin, drinks, and Wi-Fi. All for less than you'd spend at a budget motel with stale muffins. Your heart skips a beat. Is it a scam? Are you secretly swabbing decks for a discount? Most cruisers raise an eyebrow at these jaw-dropping prices, but the truth isn't a nightmare. It's a master plan. Secret number 7 reveals why their older ships are a massive luxury hack. But first, you need to understand the billionaire family pulling the strings. 1. No shareholders, no Wall Street pressure. MSC doesn't have to answer to Wall Street, and that is a massive win for your wallet. While giants like Carnival and Royal Caribbean are constantly looking at their stock price, MSC is privately owned by the Aponte family. Think about that for a second. Most cruise lines have quarterly earnings calls where they have to explain every cent to investors. If profits dip, the board demands higher surcharges, smaller portions at the buffet, or more aggressive nickel and diming to keep the stock from crashing. MSC doesn't play that game. Because they are privately owned, they can steer the ship literally and financially from a single office in Switzerland. If they want to run a specific itinerary at a total loss just to steal customers from a competitor, they can. They have the freedom to think in decades, not quarters. They don't have to squeeze every single dollar out of your first trip because they aren't trying to impress a hedge fund manager. They're trying to earn your loyalty for life. Most cruisers think a low price means budget quality, but here, it just means private flexibility. You are essentially benefiting from a family business that has more cash than some small countries. While other lines are cutting back on cabin service to pay out dividends to shareholders, MSC is reinvesting. Instead of booking an established route, look for their inaugural seasons in new ports like Galveston or Miami, where the family often slashes prices to zero profit levels just to break into the market. 2. The global shipping empire. The biggest secret the industry doesn't want you to know is that your cruise is actually being paid for by cargo ships. MSC stands for Mediterranean Shipping Company. Cruising is actually just a flashy side hustle for one of the largest container shipping empires on the planet. While you're sipping a $9 cocktail on Deck 15, one of their massive cargo ships halfway across the globe is hauling thousands of iPhones and pineapples. Those cargo ships generate billions in profit 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Most other cruise brands only earn money when passengers are on board buying bingo cards and specialty steaks. If their ships aren't full, they are bleeding cash. MSC is different. They have deep pockets from their global logistics empire, which acts as a financial safety net. They don't need your bar tab to pay for the fuel. The cargo division has already covered the overhead. This gives them a subsidized advantage that no other line can match. They can afford to keep the base fare low because the cruise division is a brand-building exercise, not just a profit machine. You are essentially a guest on a billionaire's hobby project. When you see a balcony cabin for 40% less than a competitor, it's not because the meat is lower quality. It's because a cargo container in the Pacific just paid for your cabin's electricity. Always compare the total out the door price of MSC's beverage packages against the big three, as they are almost always 30% cheaper because they don't rely solely on bar profits. 3. The MSC Experiences Upsell Filter. The ultra-low price you see on the website is actually a clever filter designed to catch your eye, but there's a catch. MSC uses a tiered booking system, Bella, Fantastica, and Aurea, to unbundle the standard cruise experience. Most American cruisers are used to a one-size-fits-all fare where you pick your room and you redone. MSC strips that away to get the lead-in price as low as possible. If you book the Bella experience, you're getting the rock-bottom rate, but you're also losing control. You can't choose your cabin location, you can't pick your dinner time, and you'll pay a fee for almost every itinerary change. Most passengers think they've scored a deal, but then they realize they're in a cabin right above the noisy nightclub or under the gym. This is lead-in pricing at its finest. By the time you realize you want to pick your room or have breakfast in bed, you've naturally moved up to the Fantastica level. It's a psychological win for MSC because you feel like you're customizing your trip, but you're actually just paying back the money you thought you saved. They aren't hiding fees. They are just making basic perks optional. If you value your sleep, avoid the Bella fare entirely and pay the small premium for the fantastic experience to ensure you aren't stuck in a high-traffic or noisy area of the ship. 4. The art of the soft upsell. Once you're on board, MSC stops selling and starts tempting. They don't nickel and dime you with aggressive announcements or flyers pushed under your door like some lines. Instead, they use what insiders call temptation architecture. Everything on an MSC ship is designed to be visually irresistible. You'll find Swarovski crystal staircases that cost millions, neon-lit VR arcades, and 4D cinemas. Most passengers think, I'm on a budget cruise, I won't spend extra, but then they see the Balinese spa or the Formula One flight simulator. It's all about the treat-yourself mentality. Because the base fare was so cheap, your brain tells you that you have extra money to blow. This is how they make their profit. You aren't being forced to buy anything, but the environment is so high-end that a $20 specialty sushi roll or a professional photo holding a parrot feels like a justified splurge. By the third day, most cruisers have spent the savings they made on the ticket price. The clever part? You walk away happy because every purchase felt like your own choice rather than a high-pressure sales tactic. But those small treats add up faster than you think. To keep your cheap cruise actually cheap, set a hard daily spending limit in the MSC For Me app on the very first day to avoid temptation creep. 5. The economy class cabin design. Most cruisers don't realize that MSC ships are often designed with a density-first mindset. To keep the prices low, they have to pack more people onto the ship. One way they do this is by shrinking the cabin footprint. If you compare a standard MSC interior cabin to one on Royal Caribbean, you'll often find the MSC room is significantly tighter. We're talking about human Tetris. If one person is trying to get dressed while the other is brushing their teeth, someone is getting an elbow to the ribs. The walkways are narrower, the bathrooms are more compact, and storage space is at a premium. MSC isn't doing this to be mean. They're doing it for the math. More cabins mean more passengers. More passengers mean more people at the bars, in the casino, and on shore excursions. It is exactly the airline economy class model. You still get to the same destination as the people in the luxury suites, but you're sacrificing personal space to pay that lower fare. For some, this is a deal breaker. For others, it's just a place to sleep. But if you're traveling with a family of 4 in one room, that extra 5 square feet you lose can feel like a mile. If you are sensitive to cramped spaces, look specifically for deluxe balcony rooms on the newer world-class ships, which offer a much more open layout than their older vessels. 6. The seasoned ship strategy. Secret number 7 is all about the debt-free fleet. While the world is obsessed with the newest megaships, a huge chunk of MSC's low-cost inventory comes from their older vessels. Ships like the MSC Harmonia, Lyrica, and Sinfonia have been sailing for decades. These ships don't have the virtual trampolines, the robot bartenders, or the massive water slides. But here is the catch. These ships have been fully paid off for years. They have zero debt. When a ship is paid off, the break-even point for a cruise line drops significantly. MSC can afford to sell these cabins for next to nothing because almost every dollar you spend on board is pure profit. They don't have to worry about a billion-dollar construction loan hanging over the hull. This allows them to offer incredibly low fares for classic cruising. You get a clean room, decent food, and a ride to a beautiful port for the price of a dinner out in New York. If you don't need the bells and whistles, these seasoned ships are the ultimate budget hack. You get the same ocean views and the same ports as the billion-dollar ships for a fraction of the cost. Use these older ships for port-intensive itineraries where you re-off the ship most of the day. You'll save a fortune without missing out on the actual vacation. 7. The Ciao Bella Buffet Shock. Cruisers often complain about MSC's food, but the truth isn't that it's bad, it's just European. MSC is Italian at heart, and they refuse to Americanize their menu to the extent that Carnival or NCL do. If you walk into the buffet expecting 24/7 chicken tenders, nacho fountains, and ranch dressing on everything, you are going to be disappointed. Instead, you'll find grilled eggplant, artisan breads, and pasta that is actually made fresh on the ship. This is a massive cost saver for MSC. American comfort food favorites are often expensive to source and prepare in bulk compared to Mediterranean staples. By sticking to their roots, they reduce their food waste and sourcing costs. It's a culinary culture shock for many first-time MSC cruisers. They also lean heavily into the cafe culture. You won't find free-flowing brown water coffee everywhere. If you want a high-quality caffeine fix, they want you to buy an espresso at the bar. It's a subtle way to move you toward a purchase while maintaining their brand identity. But if you know what to eat, you'll actually eat better here than on the burgers and fries lines. Skip the American-style station at the buffet and head straight for the pizza and the daily pasta special. It is their heritage, and it's the best free food on the ship. 8. Aggressive market conquest. You need to realize that right now, you are being bought. MSC is currently in a massive global conquest phase. In Europe, they are the king, but in the North American market, they are still the new kids. To get a loyal Royal Caribbean or Carnival fan to switch, they can't just be as good. They have to be significantly cheaper. They are currently prioritizing market share over immediate profit in the US. They want to fill their ships at any cost to get people talking about the brand. They know that once you experience the Swarovski staircases and the European vibe, you're likely to come back. They are playing the long game. This means you are essentially enjoying a subsidized vacation paid for by their marketing budget. This won't last forever. As they become more established in Florida and Texas, those prices will slowly creep up to match the rest of the industry. But right now, we are in the golden age of MSC deals. They are swinging for the fences, and you're the one who gets to run the bases for cheap. Take advantage of the MSC Status Match program immediately. They will match your loyalty level from almost any other cruise line or hotel chain, giving you instant perks like free specialty dining or spa discounts on your first sailing. 9. Vertical integration, the DIY advantage. Most cruise lines have to rent their success. They design a ship, then they pay a massive markup to a third-party shipyard to build it. They pay third-party logistics companies to move their food. They pay third-party ports to dock their ships. MSC doesn't do that. They are vertically integrated. Because of their shipping background, they own their own shipyards and have massive preferred deals that cut out the middleman. They move their own supplies on their own cargo ships. They even own some of the cruise terminals and private islands, like Ocean Cay in the Bahamas. When you own the kitchen, the chef, and the grocery store, your overhead is drastically lower than the competition. This vertical integration is a cost-killing machine. It allows them to pump out billion-dollar megaships faster and cheaper than anyone else. When their house costs less to build, your rent, the ticket price, can stay low while they still make a profit. It's a level of control that most cruise lines can only dream of. Look specifically for cruises that overnight at Ocean Cay. Because they own the island, they can offer more free amenities there than at a standard port of call. 10. The Yacht Club Cross-Subsidy. The biggest secret to your cheap ticket is the person in the suite above you. MSC has perfected the ship-within-a-ship concept with the MSC Yacht Club. This is a high-end luxury area with its own pool, restaurant, and 24-hour butler service. These high-net-worth travelers are the ones who are actually keeping the ship's lights on. Their massive margins allow MSC to sell the rest of the cabins at break-even prices. It's the same way first-class passengers subsidize the cheap seats in coach on an airplane. MSC uses the luxury branding of the yacht club to make the whole ship feel premium, even if you're staying in the budget section. You get to walk on the same Swarovski staircases and enjoy the same world-class entertainment as the person paying 10 times more than you. You are essentially getting a VIP atmosphere on a value budget. They want the ship to look full and lively, and they use your presence to create the vibe that the big spenders want to be around. Even if you're on a budget, take a walk through the public areas near the yacht club entrance. The decor in these areas is often much more lavish, giving you a taste of the high life for free. 11. Controlled logistics and labor. Finally, MSC has a shipping secret that saves them millions in labor and supply costs. Because they are a global shipping giant, they have a massive, pre-existing network of crew recruitment and supply chain management. They don't have to hire outside agencies to find staff or source meat and wine. They already have the infrastructure in place from their cargo business. They can move cruise supplies as part of their regular cargo shipments, effectively giving them free shipping on everything from bed linens to frozen steaks. Other lines have to pay market rates to move their supplies to the ship. MSC just puts it in one of their own containers. These micro savings add up to millions of dollars per ship per year. This efficiency is the invisible reason they are so cheap. They aren't cutting corners on your experience. They are just better at the boring stuff like logistics and recruitment. They have turned cruising into a science of efficiency. When they save on the back end, they can afford to undercut the competition on the front end. Don't fear the low price. MSC isn't a cheap product. It's just a hyper-efficient one that passes the savings on to you to get you on board. MSC isn't a scam. It's a high-efficiency shipping empire that treats cruising as its flashy expansion project. By staying private and owning their entire supply chain, they can offer you a balcony for the price of an inside room elsewhere, as long as you re-prepared for the European flair and the clever upsells. If you're ready to score the deal of a lifetime, hit that like button, subscribe for more insider secrets, and tell us in the comments. Would you trade a bigger room for a Swarovski staircase?